Entrepreneurship is both a gift and a tool, a key to reshaping societal elements that are outdated, overly controlled, or simply irrelevant. It's also the fastest way to drive change on both personal and societal levels. As the leader of the School of III and an entrepreneur myself, one of my greatest joys is witnessing the incredible diversity of ideas that God brings to life through our students. What starts as a spark of inspiration grows into powerful business plans that can truly transform the world. Today, I'm joined by two amazing leaders of the business track, Kyle Jukeman from South Africa and Annika Puro-Aho from Finland. Their passion and expertise in entrepreneurship are at the heart of this track, and I can't wait to hear their thoughts. So, Kyle, you have had quite the journey in the entrepreneurial world. Could you start by sharing what led you here and the vision behind the business track?
Great to be here. Thank you for having me. Growing up, I never saw myself as somebody who would be in business or in mission. I think those were so far away from my idea for the future. I was very introvert as a kid, and I thought I would have a pretty basic normal life. But I think God has always some other plans for us than we think for ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, looking back over the years, having been involved in starting 4 tech companies, having success and failure and experiencing both of those sides, I've learned a lot, obviously, through that journey. But really what I've found through entrepreneurship is purpose. I've seen business as a way to really practically live my faith in a way that has practical implications for the world. And has the potential to create a lot of impact. I think people underestimate the influence that you can have as a business person within your own company, with your staff, but also with the broader society around you. It's really an opportunity, and I think it's, as we'll talk about, it's something I feel God is doing and something that I'm really passionate about, and something that I hope to bring to the students in the business track and help them to do so. Business track really helps, I think, students to align. Maybe they really know what they want to do when they get here, and maybe not. Maybe they have some, like I did in the beginning, some basic idea of some calling. And I think business track is going to help them align that calling with really giving practical tools to build something for this world and change the world for God.
Yeah. I love the way how you kind of connect your personal story and a practice, how your life is an example of learning and becoming an entrepreneur. I guess my journey is a little bit the same. But I guess I thought always that I will become an entrepreneur, but then God led me to work with this organization. But it's such a joy to be able to create new things, and entrepreneurship is an amazing tool for that. Okay, but Annika, what about you? What's your heart for this track, and what excites you most about leading these future entrepreneurs?
For me, creating new things and being innovative, I think that is something that God has really, that's my purpose in life, to create something new, have new ideas. And when I understood that the God is a creative God, He has created everything, and we are, as His image, also meant to create things.
Yes.
That was for me aha moment, that that's why I had the burning desire kind of create.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people who also have the ability to create, but also the passion for creating something and making a change.
Yeah.
So I really want to grow with the students too, and help other students to grow, finding their purpose, finding the creation side of themselves.
Yeah. That's so inspiring. Thank you, Annika, for sharing that. And Kyle, let's dig a little bit deeper. What inspires you most about mentoring these future entrepreneurs here at the School of III?
Probably the ideas. I mean, you mentioned it as well, but like I'm someone who's so full of ideas.
Yeah.
And it's something that gives me energy and life. Like I've seen that walk with God as a creator, helping us to create. I think when we're close to him, ideas flow. And personally, I find that process very inspiring. I find helping people take their ideas and mold them into something that can be a practical, world-changing business is something I really, really enjoy. It energizes me. And I think when we're building business from the foundation of faith, it's a totally different perspective than when you're just building a business for this world. I think the vision of that business, the mission of that business is totally different. And to be honest, in my journey, I've seen like how difficult it is to start a business and how many hurdles you overcome that really, I don't even know how people start businesses without faith, because it really is so difficult. Like, and having something like this, it really gives you that foundation to be close to God, to get great ideas from God, that you can actually build great businesses and take some of the real problems in the world that we're facing and frame those around your faith and find a way to build a business that actually can be world changing.
Yeah. And one point to say about this whole school is that even though we have these different tracks, all of our students will learn the basics of entrepreneurship. And Annika, you are part of that. And I think that that's also something that we need to underline more and more, that entrepreneurship is the way to make all the spheres of society to be able to find new solutions. And that's really what excites me to see, what comes out of the dance track and what comes out of the education track, maybe business plans that will be actually doable, and to create something that transforms. So, Annika, what makes faith such a vital foundation for innovation and entrepreneurship in this track?
Well, faith should be like the first thing. Then work is integrated to your faith.
Yeah.
And work is the way of using your faith in a practical way, helping people and helping societies and like making things happen. It just, companies, entrepreneurship is one tool on God's hand.
So let's talk about the students. Kyle, what kind of mindset helps students to thrive in this track?
I think that there are 4 qualities that I see that all entrepreneurs should have. I think one is you really need to be self-motivated. It's a long journey. Like building any kind of business it's not something you do overnight, and you don't have a boss telling you what to do, which for some people is really great and they really thrive in that environment. Others don't. So like you really need to really have that quality of being self-motivated, that you can set your own goals, go at your pace, kind of build a vision for yourself and know where you want to go. The second is creativity, because you really need to be the person that is crafting that vision for your company and being creative in how you solve problems. I think in my experience, business is very often like having a long-term vision and solving problems along the way as you kind of build closer and closer and closer to where you're going. So I don't mean you need to be like an artist, but like you need to be good at creative problem solving. I think if you enjoy that, you'll really, really enjoy and thrive in business. The third is resilience. Like I said it already a few times, but it's a long journey starting a business. It's full of amazing, like high mountains, but also low valleys. And as you're going to walk through those, especially the valleys, can be really difficult. Again, a reason why it's so good to have this community at the school. But also as a person yourself, like, if like having resilience is going to really take you a long way to get through those really difficult times and those deserts in your journey. And then I think the fourth one, which I think is more important than all 3 above, is passion. Like innovation and being an entrepreneur is it's for, at least from my perspective, it's not about like making money. Of course, you want to make money as a business, like that's obvious. But if it's the thing that drives you, that you can't sleep at night because you're so passionate about that thing. That's what's going to pull you through everything. That's what's going to drive your creativity. That's what's going to drive your motivation. That's what's going to drive your resilience. So I think having that strong passion for something is one super key point to help you thrive in this track. So I think if you feel like that's it obviously is like a lot to ask of someone to say like, hey, you need to do all these things. So I would also say to people, don't be afraid. Like, it's not something to say like, okay, if you don't feel comfortable in this, then this is not for you. Like, because I definitely wouldn't have seen myself as that kind of person 10 years ago when I first went into business. Like, I was very, I wasn't confident. I was very much an introvert, never done anything like this. And it's about stepping out, and you learn like what you're actually capable of in this journey. So like, I would say also just don't be afraid, like if you feel like those are not things that you feel like you have right now, it's also part of that learning experience, just to craft like that side of your personality and learn about yourself in it.
Definitely. Yeah. And I love what you said about the passion. Like, I don't really know why someone would start a business and become an entrepreneur if you're not really passionate about it. Like, there are much easier ways to make money than entrepreneurship. So if you don't really kind of like feel that I have to do this, it's much better to do something else. So that's powerful. Thank you for sharing. Annika, what kind of mentorship opportunities this track offers?
Yeah, I feel like on my journey as an entrepreneur, I have had super good mentors, like people I can rely on. And we both know that there's going to be valleys on a journey when you are starting a new business or growing a business or whatever you do. So you need people to be around you, and you need to learn from other people who've done it. So when I have had super difficult times, I have always had somebody who has done it who I can call. Because one day you are on the top, and then next day comes COVID or something else. And then you really need people around you. So we are building a network of people learning from each other, but also learning from the people that we can connect the students with.
Yeah.
So I think knowing people and having a shoulder when you need it's good. And I think I have been helped. So I also do want to help others to have a shoulder or find another shoulder when the times when needed.
Yeah, and I've seen this before with our schools, that actually we have an amazing network of people who are really willing to help our students to grow, and whatever they need, they're willing to be there. So I think that this area of mentors and support that our students will get is just amazing. So thank you for also being there for them.
I think to add to that like, they always say your network is your net worth. There's that if you've never heard it, now you have. But it's so true. Like, that's something that can take really a long time. And if you can connect with others who can help you build those networks, it's so valuable. Like, in business, it's very often about who you know, or who knows somebody that can help you.
Yeah.
And also I think we talk a lot about like the difficult side of it, but it's also incredibly fun journey, and having people around you to help you celebrate is also really important and really powerful, because like often you're just going, and you need people around you saying like, hey, now you should like reward yourself. Like, this is a really good time, like enjoy it, So I think there's also the good side of having those people.
Thank you for these insights and thoughts. So what do you think, how this track really address the global challenges that we are facing at the moment? What are we offering for those who are kind of like thinking that, how could we do something in this situation?
Well, there's a lot of people around the world working on really important problems that face society today. I think I said already, but like, I think when you mix faith with that, it's like the secret sauce, in opinion. One thing that's really important is actually just being exposed to the problems of the world. I think I feel like most people generally know some of the challenges at a high level. Like, okay, there's poverty in the world, there's unemployment, there's environmental problems that, we want to solve, and there's like, what's the future of living look like for people? But these are really high level. Like, when you actually get exposed to them, you go deep. There's so many like other things that need to be solved within these. I think when you're exposed to that and you really get time to focus, you'll find like so many things that you can actually focus on as an entrepreneur, and especially as like a faith-driven entrepreneur, that are really great ways for you to bring the kingdom of God practically in the world, to help solve problems and build a world that is a beautiful world to live in. I mean, that's what we want. We want people to see the beauty of God through the world we're building. Yeah.
Yep. And I also think that when you understand that you actually can be a tool in God's hands of doing something for the problems, and then you understand that there's people who share the same idea, and you would be fighting and doing something for the problems together with other people. I think that is also super important for myself, and I think that for many other people, when they find out that, okay, my heart is burning for this one, and here's another person who feels the same way.
Yeah, the collaboration.
Yeah.
And it's a huge thing now. I think if you look with a lot of like Christian leaders globally feel like this is the way God is moving in our time, is through business. And it's such an opportunity for us to like be missionaries in a whole new way to this world. Business has influence in society. I mean, it's what like most young people I meet want to be like some of these great entrepreneurs. Like, they're the superstars, they're the rock stars of today. I mean, being a businessman, businesswoman gives you influence, as I said, like in society, in your business, to the people who work with you. And there's so many ways that we can collaborate as Christians on building businesses, not just in the way the world does, that it's to compete with each other, but actually we can find ways to collaborate and use business as a tool to really shape society to something that is positive for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I always say that I often say that if we have a relationship with God and we understand that He is the creator of everything, and He is the communicator, like He tells in His word, which is communication. If we really understand that, and then we have a relationship with Him, we have the access to the source of all the great new ideas. And I sometimes think that we as a believers, we are not really using that gift or even tool or weapon, or kind of like to be really believing that God is the creator of everything, and He is almighty to give us the answers. And the school slogan is "Create the New," and it's kind of like the core of the whole thing, that we believe that God wants to do something new, and we are in the process. And another thing that makes me so excited about this school, with different kind of tracks and different kind of people coming together with their different kind of passions, serving each other, like you said, like not competing, but to bring their piece of Lego and to build something together. And it's so beautiful, and God is leading in that project. So finally, what would you say to someone who is really kind of like thinking that, would this be my place? Should I apply for the School of II and do the business track?
You should definitely do it. Right?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I always share this story of myself when, like, a few years back started a business, and it was really like a challenging exercise for me to say, hey, like, should I go and do this? Like, it felt so impossible, but I always thought of myself, like, looking back at myself from 10 years in the future, saying like, hey, I'm in this moment. What decision do I make? I've got this kind of path going this way or this way. And I knew that one day I'll look back and say, like, well, the decision I made now was so important.
Yeah.
And I decided to do it. And it changed totally the course of my life to do it. And I'm so grateful that I did. And I think that, like, sometimes we can be ruled by fear in such a situation, that, like, it seems so far out to think I could go start a business and go try and build this crazy idea, but it's the journey of a lifetime, and it's an opportunity for you to really grow close to God in a totally different way that maybe you've never experienced. And so, yeah, I would say go for it. You know, like it's something you won't ever regret doing. And it's an opportunity to, you know, learn as an individual and grow as an individual and really grow in your faith and grow close to God.
Yeah. One more kind of extra question for you. We also have at the end of the school, the innovation exhibition, which is kind of like a Shark Tank, where our students are able to share their business ideas or their dance or their educational plans or whatever God has led them to do. What do you think about that? What is the value of that? Because we invite people from the society, from different spheres of society, to see these innovative plans that our students have created. So how do you see that for them, for the students? What can it offer for them?
I think it's a great opportunity to kind of like create something new within this period of time together, and then it's like giving birth to a baby. Now we release it, people will come and see, check the newborn baby.
Yeah.
Show it to everybody. Don't hide it. It's supposed to be shown to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think it's just a great opportunity to practice. I think that, you know, like if you start a business, you're going to be talking about it a lot, like a lot more than you probably think you will. And, you know, like a lot of it rests on your ability to sell that vision and that idea. And I think that Shark Tank, you know, event is so powerful, and it can be for many people the first time that they've ever stood in front of an audience and actually presented an idea, maybe really out of their comfort zone. But, you know, like I remember how amazing it was in the last school. I was sitting one afternoon with some of the students and going through their presentation with them, and they were pitching it to me, and then we sat and we edited it and cut things shorter, and it was like, okay, this is not necessary. And that's such an important part of that journey in telling your story as a business.
Yeah.
And I think the school would not be complete without that.
Yeah.
So I think it's like the finalization for you, as you said, to release it. But I think it's even more, it's very significant, like that whole event.
Yeah. And at the same time, of course, it gives or opens doors for new connections and support and networks and all of that we want to offer for our students. So, okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been great.
So, whether your heart is for business, education, or media, the School of III is here to equip you for the journey ahead. Apply today and take the first step toward living a life of purpose, creativity, and influence. So, you have to remember, before you can see the change, you have to be the change.